This is Designer AM doing a series on advocating for disabled foster kids. This video will be on not having stability. From the moment you get into foster care, you don't really have your stuff. You've grown up in a room. You've had toys, toy chest, clothes, a closet, all the things you're used to having in your house. Well, the moment you go into foster care, all that is gone. Sometimes you have what you have on your back. Sometimes your family can bring you some of your things. But from that moment on, you don't have any of the things you used to have. You get to your new placement, you start to try to lay down roots. Maybe it's an emergency shelter, maybe it's a transient place that you'll move from within a few weeks. Maybe it is a permanent place and they're trying their best to give you some normalcy. You might have returned to classes already. You're doing your best to look like you have your stuff together, trying to fit into a new place, trying to look your best, but you only have bits and pieces of your wardrobe. You may only have one pair of shoes. For me, I break my glasses a lot. I usually sometimes didn't have glasses. I was squinting in class. Matter on where I was sitting, I might not have been able to see the blackboard or have the tools, pencils, backpacks, the things I needed to succeed. And they try to put those things together for you, but you don't really have your things. Slowly, you get a little money and they help you start to put some clothes together, but you don't really look as well as you'd like to. You don't have the social network, the family members that you're used to asking for help. You have to go to new people and ask sometimes complete strangers to look out for your needs when you're a child and you don't really even know how to voice those needs. Stability is a very big problem. For me personally, I moved quite often. I was struggling with my mental health, going through such trauma was very hard to deal with when you're in a new situation around more kids than I've ever been around, except for in class. I didn't know how to ask for what I needed. When they did give me money, I didn't know how to plan ahead. I didn't know how to put wardrobes together. I didn't always look like I had a plan when I went to buy my clothes, because I didn't. As we move through placements, we lose things. It's hard to keep up with things while you're moving. In regular life, even more so when you're moving from place to place unexpectedly, without much notice. We don't always get the respect or heads up that things are going to change. Sometimes we've given a jacket to a friend or left things at school and we just never get to see those things again. The temporariness of things becomes very wearisome. Instability is also traumatizing. And stability is not something you have in a temporary home. Putting together a plan of action for your classes, for getting the educational needs met, is very hard when you're moving school to school. I went through quite a few different schools while I was in foster care. And although I started out with a solid foundation to my high school education, it slowly fell apart. Where I was on the recommended plan, I did graduate on a minimum plan. I was not able to get languages. I was not able to get electives. Stability in my education was another thing I struggled with. Your teachers have a way of picking up and adding on to what previous teachers, they have a way of speaking to each other and knowing what was taught by the previous teachers in your classes. Therefore, when you've gone from school to school, they don't have that foundation that other teachers that have known you throughout your school would have. Therefore, they pick up in different places. The classes are different from city to city. So your stability in school is also something that is lacked when you're in foster care. Your stability with friends and social networks are lacking. They come and go. You have really close connections and then you lose those, and slowly you kind of withdraw a bit. Having people you've grown up with your whole life and gone through kindergarten all the way to 7th and 8th grade or something, and then having those ripped from you and then trying again and trying again. Each new school, it's finding within yourself the strength to keep going, but also not having the ability to keep maintaining friendships begins to become an instability in and of itself. Losing social networks is very traumatizing while you're in foster care. You meet so many kids, it's so exciting, but in the back of your head, you know they're gonna go. You know it's not forever. It's hard to deal with. That is stability.